For centuries, humanity has been conditioned to believe that consciousness is a byproduct of the brain, a mere biochemical process that arises from neural activity. This reductionist view, propagated by mainstream science and reinforced by institutional narratives, has shaped the way we perceive reality, emotions, and even our own existence. However, when we examine the true nature of human experience, quantum physics, and the very structure of consciousness itself, it becomes increasingly clear that we are not the body, nor is our awareness confined to the skull. Rather, we are energetic beings, fractal expressions of a singular cosmic consciousness intrinsically tied to the quantum field. The delay in chemical action, a contradiction in the materialist model. Neuroscience tells us that chemicals released in the brain take measurable time to act on the body. Neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin take milliseconds to seconds to have an effect, while neuropeptides and hormones may take minutes or longer to influence physiological states. Yet human emotions, love, fear, joy, and the most potent for many, orgasm, are experienced instantaneously with no noticeable lag. If our feelings were solely dictated by the secretion of brain chemicals, we would expect a delay between cause and effect, much like the gradual onset of a drug's impact. Instead, we experience emotions as immediate energetic shifts, much more akin to quantum interactions than biochemical reactions. This discrepancy exposes a major flaw in the materialist paradigm. Emotions are not simply chemical secretions, they are vibrational phenomena, shifts in the energetic field of consciousness. Love, for example, is not a molecule binding to a receptor. It is energy in motion, emotion, a real-time interaction with the quantum field that surrounds and permeates us. Quantum physics, the observer and the energy field. The traditional scientific view assumes reality exists independently of the observer, yet quantum mechanics has shattered this notion. The observer effect in the double-slit experiment demonstrates that reality is not fixed but shaped by observation. If everything at its core is energy and waveforms, then consciousness, our ability to observe and collapse wave functions, must be fundamental, not emergent. This aligns with ancient mystical traditions that describe consciousness as the primary force of creation, rather than a mere consequence of brain activity. Moreover, experiments in quantum entanglement show that two particles, no matter how far apart, can be instantaneously connected. If subatomic particles can share an immediate, non-local connection, then why would human consciousness be confined to the brain? The answer is simple. It isn't. We are connected to the greater energetic field of reality, much like waves on an ocean, seemingly separate but fundamentally one. A moment of unification. Consider the profound experience of what we call an orgasm. It is not merely a neurochemical event, it is a collapse of duality, a moment of unity. If we are each fractals of a singular cosmic consciousness, then the act of love, two beings merging energetically, represents a temporary dissolution of separation, an alignment with the primordial state of oneness. Scientifically, what happens when two potent energy sources converge? A sudden, powerful release. In that moment of unity, the illusion of separateness dissolves, and many describe it as a transcendent, divine experience. Individual energy, while potent, only reaches its full potential in the context of unity, where two distinct but connected energies combine to create a resonance that neither could achieve alone. The idea that orgasm or sexual union represents a collapse of duality into oneness mirrors the concept of quantum entanglement, where two particles, once connected, continue to influence each other no matter the distance. The merging of two beings, physically, emotionally, and energetically, isn't just an individual experience, but a temporary return to a state of unity, reflecting the larger cosmological truth of interconnectedness. This is why the need for a partner, someone with a complementary energy, often surpasses solitary pleasure, no matter how potent or fulfilling that may be in its own right. Energy doesn't merely add up. It amplifies, resonates, and transforms when two high-frequency sources are brought together. There's an expansion of potential when those two beings resonate at a similar frequency and perhaps awaken something greater within each other, a transformation that can only happen in relational contexts, not in isolation. It's not just a matter of combining energies. It's a co-creation, where both individuals have the capacity to elevate each other into a state that transcends the limitations of their separate existence. In this sense, sexual union becomes a profound act of cosmic alignment, a temporary glimpse into the oneness that transcends duality, allowing both participants to feel what it might be like to exist beyond separation, if only for a fleeting moment. That's why it's so much more than just physical satisfaction. It's a deeper, energetic experience, often unlocking a sense of completeness and communion. This aligns with spiritual traditions that equate sexual energy with divine creative force, yet modern society either demonizes or trivializes it. Religion condemns it as sinful, while materialist culture reduces it to mere physical pleasure. Both distortions serve a purpose: to prevent people from recognizing the deeper truth that love, emotion, and sexuality are direct gateways to Source or God. We say God is love, and people make love, and still we do not see the blatant connection. These aren't just poetic phrases, they're literal truths encoded into language, waiting for people to wake up and see them. Consider what happens when two high-energy sources are combined in the laboratory. They do not simply add to one another, they amplify, resonate, and collapse into a new state. Is this not exactly what occurs in a so-called orgasmic experience? The body shudders, reality fades, and for a brief moment there is nothing but pure being, the closest sensation to divinity itself. Ancient spiritual traditions understood this. Many mystical practices associated sexuality with God realization. Yet today, society has either demonized sexuality, religion, or degraded it into base pleasure, mainstream culture. Both approaches serve one purpose: to prevent people from realizing the sacred physics behind love and union. When two people, energetic beings, deeply connect, they merge energies, temporarily dissolving the illusion of separation. What is that if not a return to Source, a momentary collapse into unity, like waves converging into one ocean? And what do we call that moment? Ecstasy, bliss, transcendence. Sounds a lot like every mystical description of divine union ever written. Yet so-called experts and professionals still chalk it up to just chemicals. Government research and the hidden truth about consciousness, the science they don't want you to see. The deeper we look into quantum mechanics, the more we see that materialist science has lied. Quantum physics has already proven. Observation collapses reality, double-slit experiment. Particles remain connected across infinite distances, quantum entanglement. Consciousness and perception shape what we experience. If everything is vibrational, energetic, and intrinsically connected, then consciousness is not born from the brain. Rather, the brain is a receiver, tuning into a larger field of awareness beyond space and time. Governments have known this for decades, which is why they have spent billions secretly researching remote viewing, psychic phenomena, and non-local perception, all things that shouldn't exist if the materialist model were correct. Yet, while they push the public narrative that consciousness is just a neural illusion, they quietly invest in projects proving the opposite. If consciousness were nothing more than an illusion created by neural firings, why have governments spent billions on researching remote viewing, psychic phenomena, and non-local perception? Programs like the CIA's Stargate project sought to exploit the very abilities that mainstream science ridicules. The same institutions that dismiss consciousness as a biological accident are secretly investigating how it transcends space and time. Why? Because they know the truth. The widespread suppression of these findings serves a clear agenda: to keep humanity locked in a materialist paradigm, disconnected from its true power. A population that understands consciousness as fundamental, rather than a byproduct of the brain, cannot be easily controlled, cannot be divided by fear, and cannot be manipulated into believing in artificial limitations. Science and religion, two sides of the same flawed coin. The false dichotomy between science and religion has long kept humanity blind. Materialist science dismisses spirituality as superstition, failing to acknowledge that everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, the very language of physics. Organized religion, on the other hand, externalizes God as a separate being, rather than recognizing that God is everything, the unified quantum field, the fabric of existence itself. Both perspectives are incomplete because they fail to integrate the true nature of reality. consciousness as the substratum of all existence. The grand deception, why this truth is hidden. If humanity realized that, 1. We are not the body. 2. Consciousness is non-local and connected to the fabric of reality itself. 3. Love, emotion, and unity are literal physics, not just poetic concepts. Then people would become ungovernable. The entire structure of control, fear-based manipulation, political division, religious dogma, and economic enslavement would collapse overnight. This is why the truth is hidden in plain sight. The best place to hide something is in front of people's eyes, disguised as something else. Emotion is just chemicals. Consciousness is just the brain. Love is just a feeling. Sex is just pleasure. And God is out there, separate from you. But the reality is clear. God is everything. God is the field. God is you. The truth has always been physics, frequency, vibration, energy, and consciousness interacting with it all. The question is, how much longer will people remain asleep? Breaking free, the awakening to our true nature. As humanity begins to awaken from the illusion of materialism, the truth becomes self-evident. We are not limited to the body. We are energetic beings, expressions of a singular cosmic awareness. Our emotions, thoughts, and desires are not chemical reactions. They are interactions with a quantum field. Love, joy, and orgasm are not mechanical processes, but glimpses of unity with the all. In summary, it has always been physics, just not the physics they teach in school. The suppression of this knowledge has been deliberate, but the cracks in the illusion are widening. The question is no longer whether the truth will emerge, it is whether people will be ready to accept it. The grand deception that consciousness is confined to the brain is unraveling. The evidence, from quantum mechanics, remote viewing research, and direct human experience, points to an undeniable reality. We are not our bodies. We are consciousness itself, boundless and interconnected. The awakening is happening. The only question that remains is, will you choose to see it?